Hello friends, today we will learn how we can use write line and message activity of UI path for the application purpose. So first of all, we create a sequence. So for creation of the sequence, here just you can see one new is given. So click on just new, click on sequence, and after then one pop-up is there, and in this pop-up you can provide the name of the sequence. So let's say sequence name my first program, and after then just you click on create. Okay, so as you are able to see, one sequence has been created with name my first program. So just you click on it, and first of all we see the property of sequence. So here just you are able to see that display name is my first program. So suppose I want to change the display name. So from here you can also change it. So let's say the new display name is hello world. Okay, so while I'm clicking on this editor, simply your name of your sequence has been changed. Now another property is there, that is private. So in all the activities this property is available. So the role of private is that when it is true, the value of variables and arguments are no longer logged at verbose level. Now we try to practice the write line activity. So first of all, just you click at here, okay? But you also remember at the bottom three tabs are there: project, activity, and snippet. So write line is an activity, so it is available inside the activities tab. So click at here. Now you are able to see write line. Now just you drag the activity from pan to inside the sequence. So always remember, all the activities you can utilize by putting all the activity in either inside the sequence or inside the flow chart. So here sequence is there, just simply we drag from here and then drop at here. Now, so first of all, just we try to run it and let's see what is the output. Oh, there is no output. Yes, you can see it here. There is no output because we didn't pass any information for the printing purpose. So how we can go for the printing the text message and all? So just you click at here properties, here click on write line. So you are able to change the property of write line activity. So first of all, just we try to change the display name of this activity. So just I'm writing my first code. Okay. So when you click in the editor, yeah, you are able to see that it is changed. So now it is my first code. Some other properties are also there. So private, as earlier I have discussed, what is the role of private. So if it is true, then values of variables and arguments are no longer logged at verbose level. Now next one is the text. So inside the text you have to write the text message. So if there is a text message in the form of a string, then you have to provide the information inside the double quotes. So for example, this is my first code. Okay. Now again I'll run it, just we see what kind of output is there. So the execution has been completed, and in output pane we are able to see this is first code. So always remember, the output of write line activity is available in terminal, and in place of, let's say in place of write line activity you are working with message box activity, then the message is printed in form of pop-up, and that is available in the window. Now it may be possible someone wants to print the value of a variable, as in different programming language it is happening. So if you are working with the variable at that time, at here you have to provide the name of the variable. In later exercise we will experience with the variable also. Now another field is there, another important property of this write line activity is there, that is text writer. So in text writer, optional, it is, first of all it is optional. It means every time it is not necessary to pass any kind of value, either in the form of string or either in the form of variable. Next, it sends the content in the text property to a target different from the default output panel. So later we see, after a couple of exercise, we also experience this text writer properties of write line activity. Now, so let's say we add one more activity named as message box. So suppose I put this message box activity inside the sequence after write line activity. Now here you can see that blue dot is there in a sequence. It means some of the childs or any child have some kind of validation error. So it is clearly seen from the screen that in message box activity there are some validation error. So it means in the property of message box there are some fields which is mandatory. So first we start with the display name. So first of all I change the display name. So here I'm putting it my first message box. Okay, now again there is an error, so it means after changing the display name some other fields are also there where we have to pass the mandatory value. Okay, so let's see. So first of all, input buttons. Okay, so just we check which kind of options are available. So here you can see that three different options, sorry, four different options are available. Okay, okay, cancel, yes, no, cancel, and yes, no. So let's say we go with yes, no, and cancel and see what is the output. Okay, so we have selected for yes, no, cancel. Here we have to pass some text, whatever text we try to see in the output pane. So here just simply I'll write my first message box. Now again we click at here. Oh, so there is no error. So it means in message box text is compulsory, or you can say that it is mandatory. If you don't pass the value inside text, then there is an error. Now here we have passed the string. What is the string? My first message. And this message is quoted inside double quotes. Okay. Now What do you mean by caption? So later on we discuss it. First we run the code because in my sequence there is no error, and let's see what is the output of the code. So run file and just wait for some time. So here you can see that my first message box. When I'll click it, then we go to the original code. But now the question is that where is the output of write line activity? So to check the output of write line activity, we have to go in output pane, and here just you can see that this is first code. So this is first code statement is available inside my first code, and this my first code belongs to write line activity. Okay, now we come to the one more important fact at here. So what do you mean by caption? So let's say we pass some value inside the caption. So all the string must be quoted by double quotes. So let's say this is my first uh, message. Okay, and again just we run it and we see what is the output. Great. So here you can see that this is my first message and my first message box. Now in message box, another important property is there, that is output. So what do you mean by output? So let's say while we are running the this message box activity, and suppose we have chosen some button option, then which button we have pressed or user have pressed after completion of the code, the value of that button is stored in a variable, and that variable is always declared inside the output pane. So let's say just I'm creating a variable. So for creation of the variable, simply you click at right click, create variable, and the name of the variable is output. Press enter. Now you can also see the same variable at here. So output variable recently I have created. What is the type of variable? That is string, and the scope is hello world. What is hello world? Hello world is the name of the sequence. So now next thing is, what do you mean by scope? So let's say uh, many sequences are inside the sequence. So from here you can define the scope of a variable. So in this case only one sequence is there, then no problem. But let's say multiple sequences are there and one sequence inside the another sequence. At that time you have to define the scope of each and every variable. Next point. So simply I am again running the code, and just we can see what is the output. So my first message box, okay, click on yes, and property, just you go to the output pane, you are able to see the output of write line activity. Now just we want to print the value of this variable output. So for that again I'll put one more write line activity. Okay, and here just I'm writing one message, the value of output variable is, and plus output. Okay, so simply just you can put it output. Now again we run the code and we see what is the output of this sequence. So my first message box, okay, Now I'm clicking at here cancel and execution over. So let's say here two write line activities are there. So definitely in the output pane, two output message should be there. So this is first code. This output generated after execution of this write line activity, and this output is generated after execution of this write line activity. And here you are able to see that the value of output variable is some other activities available in UI path. So after successful completion of learning of all such activity, you are able to build a good project. Thank you.